Okay, section 5.3, we are going to learn to graph exponential functions using transformations. So we're going to start out by just going through some basic things about the graph. First of all, an exponential function will always look as if it's in the form of y equals b to the x power. Okay, let me just, oops, go over here first. Y equals b to the x power. Okay, and b, the base, to follow an exponential function, we'll only consider bases that are greater than 0 but not equal to 1. Okay, so no negative bases, and it wouldn't make sense to have the base be 1 because 1 to any power would always be 1. It wouldn't follow this pattern. You can look at the graph here. This is exponential growth. That occurs when the base is greater than 1. And here's exponential decay. That'll occur when the base is something smaller than 1 or between 0 and 1. So as you can see from both graphs, the domain is going to be all real numbers. I can put anything for x I want to. The range, however, is only from 0 to infinity. If you raise a positive base to a power, you'll always get a positive value. Every graph will pass through the points 0, 1, and 1b, because if I put 0 in for x, anything to the 0 power is 1. If I put 1 in for x, b to the first power will be whatever the base is. And there will always be a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. Okay? Sometimes that asymptote is approached on the left side, sometimes it's approached on the right side of the graph. Okay, so let's graph some of these using transformations. But first, let's just look at this. So we're going to be graphing by transformations using the same rules we did way back in chapter 2. So if I have a parent function such as this, when I have transformations, you notice this function, instead of just being b to the x, which is the parent function, now we've done a bunch of things. This c and d here are going to affect the x value because they're inside the function. So remember, anything inside the function affects x, and it affects it, if you recall, inversely. And the a and the e, those are outside the function, and those will affect the y values of all the points. Okay, so let's do some graphing. Y equals -2 times 3 to the x plus 1. So to graph this by transformations, what we're going to use is the two common points that every exponential graph has, and the one asymptote, which will always be the horizontal line on the x-axis, y equals 0. So here the parent function is simply the base, which is 3 to the x power. Okay, everything else besides the base and the exponent of x, everything else will be a transformation. So you notice, if I have 3 to the x, first of all, when I put 0 in, 3 to the 0 is 1. When I put 1 in, 3 to the first is 3. And then we will have an asymptote at y equals 0. So now graphing by transformations, I notice that they're multiplying by -2 outside and then adding a 1 outside. Well, both of those are going to affect the y value. So I'm going to multiply the y values by -2, and then I'm going to add 1. So let's see what happens to these points when that happens. The x values will stay the same, but the y values are going to be multiplied by -2. So -2 times 1 is -2, plus 1 will give me a -1. Multiply this y value by -2, that would be -6 plus 1, gives me -5. Now the asymptote is also a y value, so multiplying by -2 doesn't change it, but adding 1 puts it at 1. So I'm going to have, let me grab a dashed line here, an asymptote, which will be shifted up 1, just like the rest of the graph. That plus 1 shifts the whole graph up 1. So my horizontal asymptote now, oops, that was a mistake. My horizontal asymptote now, instead of being at y equals 0, is going to be at y equals 1. Let's try this again. There we go, that's better. And my points, instead of being at 0, 1, and 1, 3, are going to be transformed to 0, -1, and 1, -5. So I have to go through these 2 points, so it's going to have to decrease, and then it's going to have to approach the asymptote. So this graph is going to look kind of like that. Okay, approach the asymptote and then come through those points. Okay, the reason that it flipped upside down is because we multiplied by a -2. It also stretched it a little further away from the asymptote, but then the graph was moved up 1. So instead of the asymptote being at y equals 0, it was at y equals 1. Let's try this one down here. Just grab a different color here quickly. And okay, y equals 2 to the 1 minus x minus 2. Now first things first, I don't like this 1 minus x business. As we know, I would like the x value to come first. So it should be 2 instead of to the 1 minus x. It should be 2 to the negative x plus 1. But I still don't like that because I don't want x to have a coefficient other than 1. It'll screw up my shift. So I take out the negative, and that leaves me then x minus 1 minus 2. So here's the function that I'm graphing. So the parent function is the base 2 to the x power. That will go through if I put in 0, 2 to the 0 is 1. If I put in 1, 2 to the first is 2. And I'll have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. Let's do some transformations. Now outside of 2 to the x, what happened? Well, nothing was multiplied, but I was subtracting 2, so the y values are going to have 2 subtracted from them. Now inside, instead of having just an x, I've multiplied by a -1, and then I'm subtracting 1. Well, I have to do the inverse. So I'm going to have to divide by -1 and add 1. So the x values will have to divide by -1 and then add 1. So let's do all that quickly. 0 divided by -1 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 1 divided by -1 is -1, plus 1 is 0, and the y value doesn't change yet. Now the y value is 1 minus 2 is -1, 2 minus 2 is 0, and 0 minus 2 is -2, so the graph will shift down 2 units. So y equals -2 is my new asymptote. And now I'm simply going to plot my points at 1, -1, and 0, 0. And you can see my graph's going to decrease again. It's going to come down through those points. The reason it's coming down instead of up is because I multiplied the x value by a negative, which reflected it in the y-axis. So instead of coming this way, it's coming this way. And there we go. Let's try one more. Parent function here, I can see the base is 4 that's being raised to the x. So my points are 0, 1, and 1, 4. And again, my asymptote is at y equals 0. Do not forget your asymptote. Now, what's happening inside? They're dividing x by 2. Well, I have to do the inverse, so I have to multiply x by 2. Outside, they're multiplying by -3 and subtracting 2. So I'm going to multiply by 3 and subtract 2 to the y values. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 1 is 2. -3 times 1 minus 2 is -5, I believe. And -3 times 4 minus 2 is -14. And then -3 times 0 minus 2 is -2. So once again, the graph gets shifted down 2 units. Now be careful here. I've got a scale of -2, so that's the first line. And then my points are 0, -5, which would be between 4 and 6, and 2, -14, which would be way down here. And I'm going to decrease again, another decreasing graph. It's going to come through like so. And there you have it, pretty simple. Now, the only difference with these problems is now we're going to graph y equals e to the x. And I'm going to explain this better in class, this whole idea of what e is. E is about approximately 2.718 and so on. Okay, we'll talk about how that value is arrived at later. But it's an irrational number just like pi. It's a decimal that doesn't stop. Here it is more accurately, 1828. I actually screwed that up when I was typing it here. But again, it's not much different from the other ones we're doing. It's still going through 0, 1 because anything to the 0 power is 1. When I put 1 in, I get 2.718, but we're just going to call that e. So it's going to go through 0, 1, and 1, comma e. So let's try these. You'll see it's the same thing. My parent function here, now you can see the base is e, which again is about 2.7, to the x power. So what points does it go through? Well, e to the 0 is 1. E to the first is e. Don't call it 2.71828 yet. That's goofy. And again, we have an asymptote at y equals 0. Now what's happening? Well, inside I'm multiplying x by 2, so I need to divide the x values by 2. Outside I'm adding 2, so I need to add 2 to the y values. I'm going through this kind of quickly because we've done all this before. 0 divided by 2 is 0. 1 divided by 2 is 1/2. 1 plus 2 is 3. Now here, e plus 2, I'm just literally going to call that e plus 2. And then 0 plus 2 is y equals 2. So this graph will move up 2 units. So it's going to move up 2 units, and I'm going to have to move my face there. Let me do that real quick. So move me. And other points are at 0, 3. Now, 1/2 e plus 2. So go over a half. E is 2.7, so 2.7 plus 2 is 4.2. If you had a more complicated calculation to find what the value is, you could always put that in your calculator. So this one's going to approach the asymptote and has to increase through those 2 points, and that's what that graph will look like. One more and then we're out of here. 4 minus e to the x plus 2. So once again we see a base of e, so it's e to the x. Now be careful here. When you put 0 in, you get 1. When you put 1 in, you get e, and y equals 0 is your asymptote, same as before. However, be careful because inside we're adding 2 to x, so I'm going to have to subtract 2. I got to do the inverse. But outside, look at this. It was e to the x, now it's negative e to the x. So I multiplied by negative 1, and then this is a positive 4 that's being added. So I have to multiply the y values by negative 1. And then I have to add 4 to them. This 4 in front, it's not being multiplied by e, it's being added to it. If you don't like it in there, you could always write it at the end as plus 4. But it's still being multiplied by negative 1, and we're still adding 4. Okay? We should know that the addition property, that the commutative property holds for addition. So subtract 2 from each x value. I'm going to get negative 2 and negative 1. Now multiply the y values by negative 1 and add 4. So negative 1 plus 4 is 3. This would be negative 1 times e is negative e plus 4. Figure out what that is later. And negative 0 plus 4 would be 4. So y equals 4 is my asymptote. It got moved up quite a bit. Negative 2, 3. That point is right there. Negative 1, negative e plus 4. If e is 2.7, then this would be negative 2.7 plus 4 is about 1.3. So negative 1, 1.3. And again, if you have trouble with that, you can double check on your calculator. Got to decrease through these 2 points and approach my asymptote. And there she goes. Just like that. And that was my last example. All finished. After this, we're going to go on to graphing logarithmic equations. Good luck.